Hello friends, welcome to Life Guru. This is Prasanna Jangam. Today I'm going to be speaking on a very important topic, and today's topic is what is education? The first thing that comes to our mind is obviously whenever the word education is heard, the first thing that pops up in our mind is go to a college and get through your school year and get done with your degree. That's education. There are actually two different types of education. One is institutional and certified, and the other one is uninstitutional or informal education, which one can learn, where one can learn about things related to a degree, a stream of education by himself or herself without even going to a college. Institutional education is a really secured and safe way of education because one can trust that mode of education. It doesn't mean the informal education is not really right or doesn't tally with the facts or doesn't tally with the real facts of information, but at the same time, when an institution is set, for example, if a college is set statewide and nationwide, the governments will oversee, I think, the compilation of the information that are put into books, academic books year by year. For example, computer science engineering is a subject. For example, there's like 6 subjects every year or every semester. So the institutions or the governing institutions will regulate or oversee the amount of information, quantity wise, quality wise, or the brain thickness behind those subjects wise, behind that matter wise. They'll be overseeing the compilation of the information that goes into every textbook every year. They make sure all the information is right. Does it tally with the science, and is it the same about that science related thing across the world, or is it just not right? So once that information is right to go into the textbooks, obviously that information will go into the textbooks. So that way everyone is really, in a sense, safe that they are learning things that are really approved by the governments or the higher authorities. So every subject and every stream of education has a set of materials that are required to pass a grade. So if someone is graduated with a degree, be it a bachelor's, be it master's, be it a doctoral degree, so if one passes those grades, obviously what they are saying or what they are authorized to say, or the higher institutions are saying to the employers or to them to the students themselves, that you are qualified in certain different areas and areas of education and skill and expertise. You are good with this, so which means you have studied this. You know, when you pass your grade, that tells with a good percentage, that tells people and yourself or the student that they have studied this thing, they have excelled in that thing, they know what that thing is. Not everyone knows that everything about things. Not everyone knows things upside down about the stream of their education, but obviously if they pass their grade, they are good in that area. So that's how so your certificate or one certificate is a proof that tells that they have learned these things in this area. They are good, so they are good to go with works or things related to those in those areas. And obviously everyone has a different cognitive capabilities. Not every student is bright, scoring 90+%, but nonetheless education is designed for students to really devour the pages and really stand on top of that subject. For example, if a student passes engineering and a student is an engineer and everything he knows is some information from here and there, read some pages before the examinations, and then he's been able to remember those, memorize those, and write those things in exams, and passes those exams with some grade. And obviously when he passes through that stage of his life, he's not much of a worth to employers, or even if he wants to do things related to his education stream by himself as a career path, he'll not be able to do much, because degree doesn't tell you that how capable you are, obviously, all the times. So, and the entire purpose of education is to limit education. For example, information, obviously, content thickness, even the IIT's books is content thickness, the max content thickness that the study materials today, whatever level of education that is, 3%. So information goes, a lot of information, much portion of it is information, much portion of what goes into textbooks is information mostly. So it's not content. So once you read, if someone hands you a degree with a 70% aggregate, that's telling you and people that you have mastered that thing. So for example, if I study engineering, computer science engineering, and then the purpose of education is everything that goes into that book is limited by me. For example, 100% information is in that book. If I'm a student, that all my goal is to get past 30% grade, 30% score, 40% score, and get through that thing, memorize few things. Obviously, I have really not mastered that science. So obviously, the purpose of education is to limit the study material. So thickness behind that study material is 3%, for example. So everything I learn is not just what is in the books. So I use those materials as orthodox or standard basic materials, and then on top of that I build my own scientific things. I build my own, because we have the laws, there are laws given, so we know how things in the world function, laws of nature, laws present in the nature. So we use those. So we know how current passes, we know how electricity works, we know how mechanism works, we know how wheel rotates, we know how oscillations in the engines work. So this is not something that only one person has discovered or knows. So obviously it is in the textbook, so obviously everyone knows it. And there are some people who are like really glad if they can memorize some exam answers and then get passed through that grade. So that's not purpose of education. Education is like really great if you can get through the level, that's like really great. But at the same time, if you want to really excel in education, so limit that thing, all the book material, to 1% of what everything you have gained and know. So that means book material is not just book material. And psychology is that if we like look at that thing as the only mammoth task that I need to clear in the entire year, that's going to look as big as you make it look like. And at the same time, if one is obviously there's a lot of hard work goes into it, but at the same time, if you really read and if you can keep your brain chill and stay relaxed all the time, as much as possible, limit that education. For example, I'm a theologian. Everything, I went to Bible school in the United States. Everything my professors taught was like really almost nothing. Everything they taught was less than like 0.001% of what I've learned. So whatever they have taught me, I've like completely minimized it. I stood on it. I made them my basic lines of education that were needed for me. But at the same time, everything that went into my textbooks or the study materials was not everything that I know, which is why I'm 95% contented. So I can do anything that I want with my in my field. I can write books. I can write textbooks for doctoral study level students. I can write textbooks for professors, because India's highest content rate today is 3%. If you want to know what content rate is, how to measure it, what contentlessness is, you can watch that series in my channel. So that's what a student is supposed to do to their books. And obviously, there are some people also who are dependent in Telangana, in Hyderabad, people are dependent on micro Xerox. If some people are capable of to manage to pass their exams using copying, cheating and all of that thing works. But that doesn't get someone anywhere. Probably become a skilled labor, a certified skilled labor. That doesn't mean one knows things. So, and heavy level of education is not in the books. Obviously, you use your books and stand on top of it, get heavy as possible, and improve your capability such that the book information is reduced to 1%. That's the goal of education. If obviously if I have a professor of mine, a teacher of mine, if they look at me like all aiming to get 30-40%, read 10-20 answers, luckily if I can get through those things, get those same questions in the examination and pass that grade, what is that purpose, what is the purpose of the education that they taught me? So obviously they're not going to be happy. So that's not gonna get people anywhere high in life. So that's how one is supposed to look at education. And Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, the richest person in the world, himself has said one doesn't need to have a college degree to really learn about things, and one doesn't need to have even high school to really get good at things. So if you can read and write, but there is importance, there is a tremendous amount of importance of a degree. It brings a different kind of respect in society, but at the same time that's not the entire purpose of education. So the goal of education is to limit study material to as little as possible. Build yourself so much in content that you minimize your study material and get heavy in your subject, and those are the kind of people that become innovators, like Mark Zuckerberg. Probably there are like 100-200 people who are innovators, who just do not read books, but at the same time they use books, everything in that, and build themselves heavy as possible in that same area, and then they have like unlimited number of possibilities and opportunities. They create things, they invent things. So they are the ones, they become bosses, the employers, and obviously the rest people who are happy with getting like 30-40%, get through that grade, obviously become employees if they're lucky to work for big companies like that. And there are, you know how many tens of millions of unemployed people are there in India. So 1 year means a lot of time. 1 year is like 365 days. If one can instill a discipline into oneself, he can really do wonders. One is like really put himself through some hard work every day, like 2-3 hours, 10-20 minutes to begin with. And it is addictive. Content heaviness is addictive. There is no addiction bigger than content addiction. So if someone can read their books and learn new things about those, and don't get ecstatic about every little thing they find out, they get heavy as much as possible, they're gonna love their life. So that's how it works. So this is the purpose of education, friends. I really hope you have learned something new today. If you are new here and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do that. Please click on the bell icon, and so that you get notified whenever I post a new thing. Please like and share my videos, so that through you, people in your circle can get blessed with rich understanding content and be helped in their lives and grow in their lives. Thank you for watching this video, friends. This is it for now. I'll see you all again.